What's up, Vibers? My name is Big Daddy Cool, and people, I've learned a lot about the game. I have tons of new info. Over 20 improvements that you probably don't even know about. Big shout out to Operation Sports who basically interviewed the Wwe 2K developers, and also my boys Brandon, Phoenix Nitro, and Simply Better. I watched their videos and they basically dropped some crazy info about Wwe 2K22. Big Coca Jumbo vibes. Now, their videos were cool. I enjoyed them, I learned a lot about the game, but they didn't address the burning question, something that we all need to know about Wwe 2K22, so I'm a little disappointed. I've learned a lot, but not enough. So let me ask you again, does Veer come in Wwe 2K22? Tell me, yes or no. I need to know, man.
I'm gonna come.
Now before we continue, this video was sponsored by Wrestling GM. We all miss General Manager mode in wrestling games. The pain is real. Lucky for us, there's Wrestling GM. Many of you are familiar with this game, I've played it before on my channel, and I had a lot of fun. There's a playlist of my Wrestling GM walkthrough in the description below. And this game offers everything you need in GM mode. You pick a company, you manage your roster, you have your championships, teams, factions, feuds, event history, you can obviously sign new wrestlers, you can even create a wrestler. So this game is basically giving you everything you need in GM mode. The choices are yours. And the biggest thing you need to focus on is setting up your fight card and booking a good show that the fans will react to. The better the show, the better the ratings. So don't be raw, be different. And obviously you'll get your ups and downs. One day you'll get that good wrestling show. And other days, well, you'll struggle to put these butts in seats. And that's what you get for trying to build new stars. You gotta use your Lesnar and Goldberg type characters. But that's just me. And of course, Wrestling GM is available on both iOS and Android devices. Download the game by using the link in the description below. So download the game and try to book the best show possible. As always, like, subscribe for Big Coca Jumbo, and let's talk about Wwe 2K22. One of the first improvements is custom renders, everybody. Oh yes, sir. If you remember this video where I talked about things I want to see in Wwe 2K22, this was one of the main things. Since we have actual renders in WWE games right now and not in-game character renders, I thought the created superstars are going to look horrendous, but now people, now we can put anything right here. Right now you can basically create the entire AEW roster and it will look better than ever before. And this new feature got me excited, this got me going wild because people, for the first time in many years, Primo in Wwe 2K22. Oh my god, Big Coca Jumbo vibes. Can't wait. And Vladimir Kozlov. I love this. Let's talk about General Manager mode. A lot of improvements, some disappointments, but let's talk about it. So basically they revealed that for the most part General Manager mode is really good and it's really improved compared to WWE SmackDown vs. Raw games, but there are some issues with the game that they didn't tell yet, but I've noticed some as well. So let's talk about it. First of all, I want to talk about the difference between General Manager and Universe mode. So basically Universe mode is like God mode. As we know, you can do anything you want, there are no money, no contracts, you're basically God, aka Vince McMahon. In General Manager mode, you are not Vince McMahon, aka God. You're basically, well, a general manager. You're working for Vince McMahon, you answer to Vince McMahon, or in this case, Triple H. So these are two separate, very different modes. One of the biggest features is that you can be an evil general manager. Yes, in general manager mode in Wwe 2K22, you can, as a general manager, interfere in matches. I believe you can throw a chair into the ring or distract a referee. Basically, you can be just like Vince McMahon. And that sounds absolutely unbelievable. They only touched it briefly, so I believe there's gonna be a lot more stuff that I still don't know about. You can also spectate the match like you could before, but now you can watch the match from different camera angles, and yes, I know what you're thinking, people. You can finally relive your wildest, wettest dreams of being Kevin Dunn in WWE video games. You can watch the match from different camera angles, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna keep it realistic and give my viewers big headaches with 50 camera cuts in 5 seconds. Can't wait. You will also receive Triple H feedback. So basically Triple H is going to be like Vince McMahon, and he will tell you what's wrong with your show, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. But there's also social media feedback. So you're gonna see a lot of people complaining, where's the long-term booking? This show sucks! More Sasha! So you're basically going to have a lot of guys like me who are complaining all the time. Nice. Now, one of the biggest problems problems of general manager mode, and this could possibly still change, and maybe you can change that in the settings, though I really doubt it. There are only 3 matches per show, and this got me really disappointed because it's such a small thing that could be, I believe, so easily improved. But yeah, only 3 matches per show, so if you have a large roster, let's just say 6-man tag matches, WWE fans love it. They also said you can sign legends, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully you can sign creative superstars, because they said you can also sign jobbers. So whatever that means, not sure. Maybe some actual WWE superstars, maybe some creative superstars, which is hopefully the case. The burning question: is General Manager a single player mode, or just like in SmackDown vs. Raw games where you can basically play with 2 controllers? And yes, I have an answer. You can play with 2 controllers, one can pick Raw, one can pick SmackDown or whatever, and it's also kinda online, so I can play with one console, you can play with another console, and we have this general manager mode thingy. Awesome, I don't know. So far, very good. The only disappointment I have is that probably you only have 3 matches, from what I can tell. They also revealed that as a general manager, weekly you have to meet certain goals and things, and they didn't really get into it, but that sounds pretty interesting. Hopefully we don't have too many restrictions. Now you might be wondering, can you create a brand? And I don't believe you can, because I believe they would mention it, but you can control Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and NXT UK. So that sounds pretty good. It's more than ever before, and that might be enough. And that's all I got for general manager mode. Now, people, you need to realize this is the first time general manager mode was in a WWE game in a very long time. So I'm just happy this mode is in the game. I don't have crazy expectations. It's a stepping stone, basically. You know, next year we can expect a lot more stuff, and I would be shocked if creating a brand wouldn't be an option. And also more matches, that sounds obvious. Let's talk about universe mode. I don't really have many details about this one. I'm sure not a lot of stuff has changed, but there's one big improvement or addition, whatever you want to call it. Basically, there are 2 types of universe mode within the same universe mode. You can play as a single superstar, or you can play universe mode like you did before. So you probably knew that, I'm sure, but they basically said that yes, you can still play universe mode just like you did in the previous WWE video games. I also want to talk about the graphics. So they basically talked about how great this game looks. Obviously we saw the YouTube videos, but trust me, if you have a good monitor, it always looks a lot different than watching a video. So I believe them, and they also talked a lot about how great the championships look this year, and that was one of the major issues to me when it comes to graphics. You know, the games always looked fine. The championships always looked really dark, especially during entrances. They almost looked black, so it seems like that is improved, and I can't wait to see it. Community creation. So the biggest improvement in creations this year is cross-platform, meaning that if I want a created superstar from PlayStation 5 but I play on Xbox Series X or whatever, I can still get that created superstar. And that's also the case on PC. If you're playing on PC, you can get all the good looking characters from PlayStation 5 or Xbox. Let's talk about MyRise, which is basically career mode. So you probably knew that, but we're gonna have 2 career modes, male and female. It's gonna be roughly 50 hours, I believe, and also you can actually make your own decisions in the game. And the first thing you're going to do in this game is actually, you know, tell your background. Are you a former UFC fighter or a rookie or whatever it is? I don't know the options yet, but you'll be able to have your own background story. And also, you can jump brands. If you're not happy on Raw, you can jump to SmackDown or NXT or the other way around, which sounds also pretty cool. I wonder how much that affects the main story of the game. And obviously, how often can you actually do it? Let's talk about gameplay. And there's some really cool stuff. So basically, Vibe talked about how different it actually is. Obviously, the controls are very different, and within the first 10 seconds, you can actually feel that this is a very different WWE video game. During the interview, they revealed that button mashing during pins is back, and I don't know how I feel about it because you don't really have that much control over kickouts. If you're just clicking a lot of buttons, but you ate that F5, not sure if you can actually kick out. So hopefully there's some kind of a meter where you basically have to press certain buttons or whatever it is. Hopefully it's not just random whether you kick out or not. Also, in WWE 2K22, now you can place tables, ladders, chairs, whatever you want. No more limitations. I can place the ladder wherever I want, and I can create some crazy ass looking spots. That's great. I don't know why it was a thing in the first place. So I don't know how to explain this, but basically, Simply Better talked about how if you're on a top rope and the opponent sees you, he is just full force running at you. And if you jump over him, he kinda runs into the turnbuckle. I don't know how to explain this, but you gotta watch the video. Whatever it may be, I don't wanna lie, it does sound pretty cool. And yes, people, there's weapon damage for kendo sticks and steel chairs, for example. If I'm gonna use a kendo stick, you will see it slowly breaking. And you can use a steel chair for a limited time until it actually breaks. It does sound cool, and I hope there's new animations for weapons as well, especially for chair shots. Simply Better also talked about how you can grab the ropes and then you can taunt or do a springboard. Not sure how this is going to work, but I like the freedom. It sounds like you'll be able to do a lot of stuff while it also being realistic. Not sure how the running springboards are going to work though. I'm gonna have to play the game to see. And finally, kickouts. So obviously, like I've said, there's button smashing, and I'm not sure whether you can, change that in the options or not, or maybe it's even better, I'm not sure. But there's also kick out selling, and what I mean by that, for example, if you kick out of a big move, the selling looks really, really good. And that sounds good. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really interested. I can only imagine that it could lead to some cool looking moments, like kicking out of 2 F5s, and Brock is shocked. Oh, my cow, he kicked out! But I can't confirm any of this. Maybe our experience will be a lot different. I don't know. I'm just simply talking about things that are in the game. How good they are, I have no idea. So again, I highly suggest watching all of these videos. I'll leave the links in the description below. And this interview, for example, really kinda opened my eyes. We ask for stuff in WWE video games, but you don't realize that adding one stuff can break a million other features. For example, create a finisher is not in the game because it doesn't look realistic and it could basically break the gameplay. There's a lot more other issues. Create a story is not in the game because they don't even have that access while making the game. So, they would have to basically create this crazy ass feature that will take so much time to implement into the game, and they just can't focus on that kind of stuff right now. And obviously I can't tell whether this game is good or not, but it seems like developers are really, really confident this year. So fingers crossed for a good working WWE video game. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Check out Brandon, Phoenix Nitro, Simply Better, and Sports Operation, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.